In the original red, green, blue, and yellow Pokemon games, there were a total of 15 Pokemon types. Later on, the dark and steel types were added in gold and silver, and the fairy type was introduced in Pokemon X and Y. Basically, after multiple years, there will be a new type released. So I wonder, what could be the next Pokemon type that could appear in future Pokemon games? Firstly, I think the most possible likely type to be added in future Pokemon games would be the light type. That's because in the first generations of Pokemon Red and Green, there was a move called Flash. When this move is used, it lowers the opposing Pokemon's accuracy by 1 stage, and outside of battle, this move can also illuminate a dark area like a cave. But why is this move considered to be a normal type? And it's not just this move. In the first generation, there was also a move called Solar Beam. This is a grass type move that deals 120 damage but is a 2-turn attack. The first turn is used for charging up and second turn is used for attacking. However, if the weather effect Sunny Day is active, there's no need to charge up for 1 turn. But if Rainy Day, Sandstorm, Fog, or Hail is active, Solar Beam's power will be weakened by half. It doesn't matter which perspective you stand in, this move is obviously a light type move. But in the Pokemon games, according to its name, Solar Beam should at least be a fire type move, rather than a grass type move. Well, at least this can be understood. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, they have a new legendary Pokemon called Solgaleo. In the anime and Pokemon games, the NPCs call Solgaleo the Sun God. So I was expecting its type to be related to fire, light, or something like that. But its typing is Steel and Psychic? Holy crap, the Sun God is actually afraid of fire. Can you believe this? And ironically, its final form is worshipped by the people of the Ultra Megalopolis as the Blinding One. But on the other hand, if there really were to be a light type in Pokemon, what would it be super effective against, weak against, or nullified against? First, we should understand that light usually has a more positive meaning, like justice. So towards the ghost and dark types, it makes sense that light would be super effective towards them. Just like in olden times, the supernatural monsters of dark were always weak to light. For example, the vampires or zombies being extremely vulnerable to light. The light type would also be super effective towards psychic types. As for ice and steel types, it would be resisted against, because they can reflect light. And any light type attacks will pretty much have no effect towards the grass type. In actuality, it would actually benefit the grass type. You know, photosynthesis, elementary school knowledge. But on the defensive side, fire and water types would be super effective against the light type. As for the fighting and ghost type, they won't be very effective against the light type, while the dark type would just have no effect. At the same time, if the light type were to be actually released, there would have to be some special abilities and moves that would appear alongside it as well. For example, grass-type Pokemon may have the ability to recover HP if hit by a light-type move. For steel and ice-type Pokemon, they may have the ability to reflect damage back to the opponent if they are hit by a light-type move. When Sunny Day is active, light-type moves could have an increase in power or allow some light-type Pokemon to recover HP. Adding on, light-type Pokemon could also have an ability similar to the concept of light speed. Throughout the rounds, there could be a % chance for the Pokemon to attack first. The stats of light-type Pokemon, like electric-type Pokemon, would most likely see an increase into the speed stats. As for the bodies of light-type Pokemon, they would probably be designed to contain many light-up components. Especially the first time I saw Ultra Necrozma, and imagine if there were to be a light-type Eevee. Whew, how nice that would look. Another type that could possibly be released is the Air-type. As you should know, the Air-type is completely different from the Flying type. The Air-type doesn't necessarily need Pokemon with wings, and this also means that those Pokemon that know air moves don't necessarily need to know how to fly. Throughout various RPG games, they usually contain the 4 elements of fire, water, earth, and air. But in Pokemon, the only thing that are lacking is the air aspect. Why is the move Scald a water type move, but the move Heat Wave a fire type move? Like the move Whirlwind, a lot of normal and flying type moves should be classified as the air type. Also, according to the order of Game Freak's Pokemon types, from fire and water, substances that exist in the natural world, to dragon and fairy, species that come from lore and fiction, the air type would have a very high chance to be future typing, because it exists in the natural world. But it is hard for us to see, full of reality. However, air can also come from fictional worlds, being full of mystery. At the same time, air perfectly matches various types in Pokemon. The reason fire can keep burning is because of oxygen, or air. And while the fire is burning, they will flow through updrafts. When it comes to battles, I think the air type will be super effective towards the fire and grass type Pokemon, but it won't be very effective towards flying and ground type Pokemon. The air type might even lead to the creation of a weather effect that can enhance fire type's Pokemon powers and flying type Pokemon's evasion. As for the air type's weakness, rock, ground, and flying types would be super effective against air. A final possible type that could appear in future Pokemon games would be the sound type. The sound type would be perfect for Pokemon games as there are various Pokemon moves that would fit perfectly, such as Hyper Voice, Growl, Snore, Sing, Uproar, Supersonic, and the list goes on and on. And guess what type Game Freak decided to make those moves? The normal type. Well, the sun god is scared of fire, so I'm not too surprised by this. There's a lot of Pokemon that would also benefit from the sound type, like the Whismur, Jigglypuff, Zubat, Noibat, Chingling, Kricketot, and Woobat lines, and that's not even all of them. With the introduction of the sound type, the ability Soundproof is retconned to block any sound type moves rather than just sound based moves. Battle-wise, the sound type would be super effective against electric, fighting, psychic, and fairy types, and will not be very effective against water, grass, steel, and bug types. On the defensive side, electric and fairy won't be very effective against sound types, while flying, water, and ghost types will. Also, I think it would make sense for sound type moves to not affect sound type Pokemon, because sound type Pokemon utilize sound as well, so it won't have any effect. I didn't use any evidence from Gamefreak, only from my imagination, so if the next type that gets released isn't any of these, that can only mean that my predictions failed. But if my predictions were correct, please hire me, Gamefreak.